Okay, we'll discuss a problem on conduction heat transfer. Okay, this is the problem. It may look a bigger one, but it's a simple problem. If you want to read, its length is larger, but it is a simple problem. You can see a furnace wall is made up of 3 layers. There are 3 layers of a furnace wall. Okay, there is a furnace. That furnace is covered by 3 layers. Furnace means the furnace is mainly used for heating purpose. There will be high temperature inside the furnace. Okay, the furnace is made up of 3 layers. First layer is insulating brick of thickness 12 cm. This layer is having a thickness of 12 cm and a thermal conductivity of 0.6. I will write its given data here. Given data. Okay. First layer, I will call it as L1. Thickness of the first layer is 0.12. Okay. And thermal conductivity of the first layer K1 is equal to 0.6 watt per meter Kelvin. Okay. The face is exposed to, this face is exposed to a temperature of 870 Kelvin. Means there is a temperature, it is not a temperature T1. T1 is the surface temperature. This surface is exposed to a gas whose temperature is 870 Kelvin. I will write it as TH or TI inside the temperature inside the furnace, or TI I will call it is 870 degrees Celsius. Okay. The heat transfer, there will be, as there is a fluid, further it is a solid. The heat transfer takes place by convection from this fluid to the solid. Okay. And the heat, whenever there is convection heat transfer, there will be heat transfer coefficient. This convection heat transfer coefficient, they have given it as 110 Kelvin. Sorry, 110 watt per meter square Kelvin. H1 is equal to H1, HI or H1 I can write HI. Heat transfer coefficient inside the furnace. HI is equal to 1110 watt per meter square Kelvin. Okay. With the layer is backed with 10 cm thick fire brick. Means after that insulating layer, there is a fire brick layer of 10 cm layer, thick. I will call it as L2. L2 is equal to 0.1 meter. Okay. L2 is equal to 0.1 meter. And its thermal conductivity. Thermal conductivity of this fire brick K2 is equal to 0.8 watt per meter Kelvin. K2 is equal to 0.8 watt per meter. There is a contact resistance between the layers. Okay, this is one of the new concept. Means when there are two layers. When there are two layers, this is one layer, this is the second layer. When there are two surfaces which are joined together, there will be some air gaps. Okay, due to that air gaps, there will be some thermal resistance for the heat to flow. Okay. That is, they have given thermal resistance. It is called as thermal contact resistance. They have called it. Okay, thermal contact resistance between the two layers. Thermal contact resistance between the two layers is, that I will call it as RT1 or thermal contact resistance between the layers. Okay. Remember, due to that thermal contact resistance, there will be drop in temperature when we join two surfaces. Okay, if this is one surface, and this is the another surface. Okay, this is one surface and second surface. If we join these two, what happens? There will be small air gaps. Small air gaps will be there. Due to that, the surface temperature of one and the surface temperature of other will be different. Okay, and there will be resistance for heat to flow. That resistance is called as thermal contact resistance. That resistance is called as thermal contact resistance. Okay, now thermal contact RT1 is the thermal contact resistance between the first layer and the second layer. It is equal to 2.6 into 10 raised to minus 4. 2.6 into 10 raised to minus 4 meter square Celsius watt. Meter square Celsius watt. Okay. The third layer. This third layer is a plate of 10 mm thick. Okay. It is a plate of 10 mm thick. L3 I will call it as. L3 thickness of the third layer is 0.01 meter. Okay, I will convert it all into meter because thermal conductivity and other units are in meter. Therefore, I will convert other data also in meter only. Okay. Now, and thermal conductivity of the third layer. Thermal conductivity of the third layer is equal to 49. I will call it as K3. K3 equal to 49 watt per meter Kelvin. Okay. The contact resistance between the second layer and the third layer. Again there is a joining of the two layers. Therefore, there is a drop in temperature in between those layers because of the air gap. Because of the air gap, there will be a thermal resistance. Therefore, there is a thermal resistance. That thermal resistance I will call it as RT2. Thermal resistance, thermal contact resistance between the layer 2 and the 3. It is equal to 1.5 into 10 raised to minus 4 meter square Celsius watt. Okay. The plate is exposed to ambient air. This is ambient air. That is TA, ambient temperature is equal to 30 degrees. Okay. This is the problem. Okay. Now I will explain the problem like this. There is 870 degrees Celsius inside the furnace. Okay. After that, there is a surface temperature is T1. Okay. Convection heat transfer takes place here from 870 degrees Celsius gases to the surface. There is a convection thermal resistance. I will call it as this is 870 degrees Celsius and there is a convection thermal resistance between that T1 and 870 degrees Celsius. After that, there is conduction heat transfer from T1 to T2. Therefore, I will call it as R1. Okay, R1. R1 is the conduction thermal resistance in the solid or in the plate. Okay, this is T2. Okay, after that, what happens here? There is a thermal contact resistance. Okay, due to that, there is a drop in temperature in the interface only, and the temperature drops to T2 dash. This is the thermal contact resistance. I will call it as RT1. Okay, after that, there is one more conduction heat transfer from T2 dash to T3. Okay, T2 dash to T3, that I will call it as R3. Okay. R2 I will call it as. After that, there is again two layers which I have joined. Sometimes what they will give, they will not give thermal contact resistance. Thermal contact resistance will be small. You can see here, it is of the power 10 raised to minus 4. Sometimes they will neglect it, but we have to consider it. It is good. Sometimes they will give in the problem. If they give, we have to consider it. Okay. But whenever you do experiments, we have to consider the thermal contact resistance between the two layers. Okay. Now T2 dash and T3, there is a conduction. Okay. Further, Between the layers, second and third layer, there is again thermal contact resistance from T3 to T3 dash. Okay, T3 dash. This is RT2. Okay, further T3 to T4. Okay, T3 to T4, there is conduction heat transfer. Conduction heat transfer T4. This is R3. I will call it as R3. Again T4 to T ambient, there is from this surface to the ambient temperature. The surface of the furnace wall on this side is different compared to the ambient temperature. Okay, this there is, I will rub this one I will write here. Okay, T2 is equal to 1.5 into 1.5 into 10 raised to minus 4 meter square Celsius flat. Okay, between T4 in the ambient, again from T4 to ambient, again there is a convection heat transfer. Therefore, we can call a resistance will be there for a convection heat transfer from T4 to TA, or I will call it as 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, this is, I will call it as RC2. Okay, this is its equivalent electrical circuit. Okay, now I will rub this problem only. I have written given data and everything, because there is no space. You have to write down this problem and further you can solve. Okay, we have to calculate temperature at all the points. We have to calculate overall heat transfer coefficient. Okay, that is the thing which we have to calculate. Now I will solve the problem here. What they have asked to calculate? They have asked to find temperature at all the points. Okay, we have to find temperature at all the points. Okay, that is T. This temperature they have given T1, T2, T2 dash, T3, T3 dash. It should be T4 and TA ambient also given. Okay, I will call it as T. Now we know to find this, we have to find temperature at all the interface. Okay, that is T1, we have to calculate T2, T2 dash we have to calculate, T3 we have to calculate, T3 dash we have to calculate, T4 we have to find. We have to find all these temperature. Okay, what we know, and we have to calculate overall heat transfer coefficient U. We know Q is equal to UA into delta T. Okay, UA into delta T. Okay, A they have not given, therefore we will assume area equal to A equal to 1 square meters. Okay, this we will assume because they have not given. We have to assume, then only we can calculate the value. Okay, now T1, how to find T1? Or first I will calculate heat transfer. First I will calculate overall heat transfer coefficient Q. U I will calculate. U is the overall heat transfer coefficient. Therefore, what will be U? Q is equal to U divided by UA into delta T is there, no? Okay. What is U? In the previous lecture video I had given. Okay, U is equal to what? U is equal to summation of 1 by R. UA is equal to 1 divided by summation of R. Like that we can write. Okay, that will be U. Okay, therefore how we can calculate U? If we know Q, A we know, delta T we know, we can calculate U also. Okay, therefore how to calculate Q? Q is the heat transfer. It is again delta T divided by summation of R. Okay, summation of R. Okay, summation of R is nothing but delta T is nothing but the temperature Ti. This 870 Ti minus Ta. This is the temperature Ti minus Ta. This I will call it as the temperature, inside temperature Ti minus Ta, divided by summation of R. RC1 R1 RC1 plus R1 plus RT1 RT1 plus R2 here plus RT2 plus R3 plus RC2. Okay, this here, if we calculate like this, we have to calculate RC1. How to find RC1? It is a convection heat transfer coefficient. There is a convection heat transfer from T1 Ti to T1. This is Ti. From Ti to T1 there is convection heat transfer. Therefore RC1 is equal to 1 divided by Hi into A it should be, but A we have assumed, therefore I will not write A. Okay, that you will get 1 divided by Hi. Okay, you will get 1, Hi is 110, therefore 1 divided by 110, you will get it as, you will get that value, you calculate it, 1 divided by, and now R1 is equal to, here it is a conduction heat transfer coefficient between T1 to T2. There is a conduction, therefore thermal resistance due to conduction is equal to L1 divided by K1 A1. A1 is 0, therefore L1 is 0.12 divided by K1. K1 is 0.6. You will get R1. Okay, R1 you will get it as 0. Okay, you will get, if you divide it, you will get 2, I think, something. You will get, you do that. Okay, next R2 is equal to again L2 divided by K2A. A2 it should be, but we have taken A is equal to A1 equal to A2 equal to A3. Okay, all areas we have assumed it as 1. In the similar way, RT1 we know what is RT1. L2 I will write, L2 is equal to 0.1 divided by 0.8. 0.1 divided by 0.8. Okay, then RT1 is equal to, directly they have given 2.6 into 10 raised to minus 4. Okay, this is RT1. R2 we have calculated. RT2 is also given. RT2 is equal to RT2 is equal to 1.5 into 10 raised to minus 4. It is given. I will not write the unit here. Here it is given. Okay, then R3 is equal to L3 divided by K3. Okay, L3 is equal to 0.01 divided by K3 is equal to 49. Okay, we get R3. Okay, RC2 again we have to be careful here. Here again there is a convection heat transfer from this surface to the ambient. Okay, therefore it will be 1 divided by H0 into A. A is 1, therefore it will be 1 divided by H0. H0 they have given in the problem. Okay, they have given in the problem. H0 should be, H0 is given in the problem 30 watt per meter square Kelvin. It is given in the problem. Okay, therefore you have to calculate 1 divided by 30. Okay, we have calculated all the values, RC1, R1, RT1, RT2, Ti we know, Ta we know. If you substitute all the values here, you will get Q. You all values in substitute model, you will get Q. Q you will get it as it is 1 divided by 15, not 30. It is 15. Convection heat transfer coefficient on the outside, it is 15. Okay, it is given in the problem. Okay, if you substitute all this, you will get Q as Q is equal to 2092.8 2092.8 watt per meter square or watt. Okay, we will get this much heat transfer. Okay, you know Q, you know delta T. Now you can calculate U. Okay, you have to substitute RC1, R1, R2, RT1, RT2, R3 in this formula. You will get Q. Okay, once you get Q as 2092.8, if you substitute here in this formula, you will get, if you substitute Q here, we will get what is U is equal to, then U is equal to Q divided by delta T, because A is equal to 1. Okay, we know Q is equal to 2092.8 divided by delta T is 870 minus ambient temperature 30. Okay, we will get U value. U value you will get it as 2.491 watt per meter square Kelvin or degree Celsius. Watt per meter square degree Celsius. Okay. Once you calculate U, we have to calculate T1, T2, others also. But the important thing here is we have calculated U. Okay. I will rub this one. We know this value Q. Q we know. Okay. This is Q is equal to meter square. Watt. This much watt. Okay. We have to calculate T1, T2, T3 and T4. Okay. What happens here? Q remains same. Okay. Q remains same. Like electrical analogy, we have seen if a current is flowing through a series of resistance, that current remains same. I remains same. In the similar way, here if heat current is flowing through a series of resistance, heat remains same. Therefore, Q will remain same. We can write the same Q is equal to Ti minus T1. Ti minus T1 ಅಂತ ಬರಿಬಹುದು. This is Ti minus T1. It is divided by previously ಅಂತೋನೇನೆ what I have taken Ti minus Ta. I have divided the thermal resistance, entire thermal resistance in between them. Now I have to divide only the thermal resistance between Ti and T1. That is RC1. That is the thermal resistance between Ti and T1. Therefore, I have taken only that thermal resistance. We know Ti, we know RC1, we know Q. Only unknown is T1. We can calculate here. Okay, what is Q? Q is, therefore Q we know 2092.8. Okay, it is equal to Ti. Ti is given, that is 870. Okay, minus T1. T1 is equal to, that is what we have to calculate. Okay, divided by RC1. RC1 is nothing but 1 divided by HI. HI is 1 divided by 110. Okay, here in this, if you solve this equation, this one, only T1 is unknown. T1 you will get it as 850.97. 850.97 Kelvin. Okay, degree Celsius. Sorry, this is degree Celsius. Okay. Whenever you keep in mind, whenever there is a difference, then you can calculate this answer will get in degree Celsius. Okay, because we have substituted this one in degree Celsius, therefore we will get this one. Whenever there is a difference in temperature, we can write it either in degree Celsius or in Kelvin, because there are 180 divisions in a Kelvin scale as well as in a Celsius scale between ice point and steam point. There are 100 divisions, not 180. 100 divisions in a Celsius scale and in Kelvin scale between ice point and steam point. Therefore, whenever there is difference in temperature, we can take either Kelvin or degree Celsius. It doesn't matter. But for radiation transfer, we have to take in Kelvin only. That is one important. Now, I will calculate T2. How to calculate T2? Again using the same concept. Q is equal to T1 minus T2. If I take T1 minus T2, I have to take the thermal resistance between them, that is R1. Okay. We know Q, that is 2092.8. It is equal to T1 minus T2. T1 just now we have calculated 870. We have calculated T1 as 870. Okay. 850 minus T2 divided by R2. R1 is equal to, it is the conduction heat transfer coefficient, conduction thermal resistance from T1 to T2, that is L1 divided by K1. Okay. That is 850 minus T2 divided by L1 is 0.12 divided by K1. K1 is 0.6. This is the equation. If you solve this one, you will get T2. T2 value, you will get it as 432.40 degrees Celsius. Okay. In the similar way, I can calculate T3. Okay. T3 I can calculate. T2 dash initially. T2 to T2 dash. Okay. Q is equal to, again, if I write T2 minus T2 dash, I can write thermal resistance in between them. Okay. Divided by RT1. Okay. That is the thermal resistance. Okay. We know Q value. Q is equal to 2092.8. It is equal to T2 minus T2 dash, 432.4 minus T2 dash divided by thermal resistance, that is 2.6 into 10 raised to minus 4. Okay. If you simplify this, you will get T2 dash value. T2 dash is equal to, we will get it as 431.86 degrees Celsius. In the similar way, from T2 dash to T3, we can calculate. T2 dash to T3. Okay. Q is equal to, I will write again T2 dash minus T3 divided by the thermal resistance between them. Okay. If I take T2 minus T3, I have to take RT1 plus RT2. Okay. I have taken T2 dash minus T3. I have to take divide by thermal resistance in between them. Okay. R2 is equal to L2 divided by K2A. Therefore, Q is equal to, again it will remain same, 29.8. T2 dash we have calculated 431.8 minus T3 divided by R2 is equal to L2 divided by K2, that is 0.1 by 0.8. 0.1 divided by 0.8. Okay. We will get T3 value here. If you simplify this, you will get T3 as 170.26. Okay. Degrees Celsius. Okay. Now T3 dash. Q is equal to, again T3 minus T3 dash divided by thermal resistance in between them, that is RT2. Okay. This we can write 2092.8. It is equal to T3 we know 170.26 minus T3 dash, that is what we have to calculate, T3 dash divided by RT2 is directly given 1.5 into 10 raised to minus 4. Okay. If you simplify, you will get T3 dash as equal to 170. T3 T3 dash equal to, sorry, T3 dash, you get it as 169.95 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now, in the similar way, T4 we can calculate. Q is equal to T3 dash minus T4. Q is equal to T3 dash minus T4 divided by R3. If we substitute similarly, we will get T4 as, T4 you will get it as 169.52. The important thing here is Q remains same. That is the important thing. Okay.